Goes up high, back of the building. Oh, nice step from As he picks it up, smacks it into the center. Oh, put it on the foul. No. Owen takes the ball. Look.
Developed down the half-back flank. Play won by Ger Walls. Maurice Bartley shown down the wing. It's headed towards John O'Regan, the Irish captain. Playing his rover, he sends the ball in long and searching. It's won back there by the Croatian defence. The referee has alternated a kick in. He's given a free kick actually to the Irish. It's out for a behind for Ireland. It further extends Ireland's lead here. Quite a supremacy. Croatia getting on the scoreboard with just a goal in that first quarter. The evening is cleaned up somewhat here. The drab, wet conditions of the beginning of the match seem to have changed. I think the referee is penalising the Croat there. He's calling the play back in. Looks like he's going to throw it in. Here we go. Headed towards it's Brian O'Connell. Stretch gets the break. Falls out. Wide there towards Dominic Joyce. Ball goes out of play. The Irish number 30, Bobby Byrne, is in there searching. I think the Croats are adopting a defensive approach, trying to stay in the game as much as is possible. But they found difficulty in building from the back here. We see the play move forward. Jared Lenihan contests, but it's won there by John O'Regan. Or is it John indeed? Hard to see in this light from this angle. Here we see the play developed in towards James Flavin. James is on the ball. Well constructed, but broken down by the Croats. Sent out outside the 50 where a mark is taken by Jared Lenihan. Jared, who travelled back for these championships from Chile, affiliated with the Kenmore Australia club. He's been a resolute performer for Ireland, we put it like that. That's sent in long towards Brian O'Connell, but it goes out of play and out of bounds. And the Irish have pressed up onto the Croats. A lot of players in the opposition's half of the field, and particularly inside the 50. They've had quite a few inside 50s at this stage. Ball won in there by the Croatian defence, who've been made to work very hard. I see Coach O'Hara, he's quite pensive on the far side, watching on as Paul and Kevin and the other Irish coaching staff will be quite happy with the way that things have developed here. Quite satisfied to win at all costs tonight, with a potential final against the Great Britain Bulldogs in the final here on Saturday. Number 8 contesting that for Ireland's Kevin McSorley, a man who returns from suspension tonight. He's been very strong around the centre for Ireland. As I say that, the Croats are looking to get on the play here. We've almost crossed the halfway mark in the field. But the Irish quick to turn that around, and Brian O'Connell is on the ball. Handballs it neatly off to Bobby Byrne. Bobby's hard to dispossess. He returns the favour. But it's given us a throw ball, I think, is it? The Irish coaching staff were quite active here to suggest that their players would get on the ball, maintain some composure. We develop here with a Croat free kick, sent out towards the middle. We haven't really seen the best of Croatia as of yet. Big players like Ivan Ivos and others. There's a mark taken inside. Long ball inside 50, searching out for Brian O'Connell. Maurice Bartley in chase as well. And the ball now is Paul Redmond, sent in again. That looks like it's gonna go in for a behind given there. Contact last made by a Croat player. And get you a score update as matters press on with Maurice Bartley winning that kick out. Maurice, who's been a strong player for Ireland in these championships. Very good performances on both occasions up to now in the lead up to this game. He's going to look for a score here. Lets it in long. Looks good. Looks good, and it's... Ball still alive? No? No, the umpire indicates that it's out for a behind. It looked like the ball had remained in play there. Trudging back to get it's the Croat number 88. Or indeed, it's 33. I was giving it as two fat ladies there, but no, it's Joseph Josipovic. I have to say these Croat jerseys are very striking. If anything, a slight redesign in terms of the numbers. There's a long searching kick in by number 26 for Ireland. The number 26 for Ireland's Paul O'Halloran of the South Dublin Swans. Paul had a big performance here against Sweden last Saturday. He was charged with the challenge of marking what was the one of the Swedish main men, their captain, Johan. And he did a great job. He kept him quiet for the full of the match. Irish are eager to push on. Kevin McSorley urging his troops forward, trying to keep this momentum going. Looking down here, the German team are looking on, maybe sizing up the Croats for Saturday afternoon's playoff matches. Got quite a handsome crowd here in DCU this evening for what is this winner-takes-all occasion. Looking across there on the Irish bench, looking much happier than their Croat counterparts. Ball sent up long there towards Ivan Ivos. In we go, it's sent in towards the pockets. Searching in there for Croatia was their number 19, who's had a rather fruitless evening so far. It's been a lonely place in that Croat forward line. Their number 17, Ivan Ivos, was their big out-and-out performer in both their contests up to now, and we haven't seen a terrible lot of them so far. The Croatians are really enjoying matters here in Dublin. They've had an outing to Croke Park, to the All-Ireland football quarter-finals, where indeed one of them has actually equalled the vertical jump interactive record on the tour of Croke Park. I'll tell you more about that when we hear the hooter for half-time. Ireland are defending at all costs. Ball looks like it's going to go out of bounds here. It'll be a throw-in. Number 9 for Ireland, Sean Paul Henry of the Belfast Redbacks. The spine of this Irish team is largely made up of Northerners. No surprise there, the coaching staff are very very capable and competent defenders in their own right. We saw number 23 there, Sean Fallon, the Terrier, a very resolute little player, very gutsy, puts himself in where many others wouldn't. And here we have Antonio Santic looking at a kick in. The imposing figure of Maurice Bartley in front of him. Sent in long. Up we go in search of the play. Number 33, Josipovic, was on it there again. And his teammate Filip Lenic. We have a throw in here now. Good chance for the Croats to get an attack moving. But no, that's cut out by the Irish. Again, Kevin McSorley on the ball, and that brings us to the half-time mark. As we begin the third quarter, throw in broken by the Croatians. It's one back there by the Irish number 6, Conor O'Halloran. Some scrappy play out towards Maurice Bartley. Maurice is a live wire performer for the Leaside Lions, a great potential promise. He handballs it off. Inside him is the Irish number 6, Conor O'Halloran. He pops it up there. Search of a mark. It's one back by the Croatians. And I take that to be a relative error out for a behind. Came off a Croatian foot last. Get a little bit of geographical confusion there. A kick in from the 26 for Croatia. Delivered long. There's a potential mark there for Irish number 16, Ger Walls. Spills from his grasp. The slippy conditions here. Walsey with a great tackle. Super. Paul Brogan, the Irish coach there, encouraging Ger Walls on. Mark taken in the pocket by the Croatian defender. It's a sliced kick out towards midfield. Centre half back position is An area where Croatia seem vulnerable. A lot of the Irish play has come right up through the centre. Flanks have been pretty okay. Coach O'Hara has used the 6-4-6 formula. Coming onto the play here is Dario Horak. Dario's got it. He's looking up. Fires it in there towards the pocket. Almost a great mark there taken by the Irish, but it's won back by the Croatians. There's a chance handballed off here towards number 7, Tom Brown. Tom, who plays his football in Finland. Ball broke loose there, and Sean McMahon from the Belfast Redbacks got on it. Seems to have been fouled, wins a free kick. Tom there in Farrua had worked very hard to try and get the play turned over in Irish favour. Breaks loose here. Oh, the Croatians down on it. Very brave play, but touched on the ground. Okay. The umpire is in. Signals in his intent very early. The number 3 for Croatia, Dario Horak. We've mentioned him already this half. He's been quite competent. That play was well developed forward by John O'Regan, the Irish captain, in towards Brian Roach. Sent in high and long. Well countered by the Croats. Defending has been quite resolute. The score here at half-time was 3-7 to a goal. So we had 25 for Ireland, plays 6 for Croatia. Long ball played towards the Irish 50. It's won well there and developed by Kevin McSorley. Oh no, it's Sean Paul Henry, his colleague from the Belfast Redbacks. Sends it up long into Brian Roach again. Brian has been very competent thus far for Ireland. Good player, usually plays in the half forward flank position, and he's kicked a fantastic goal there from well outside the 50 into the breeze, and rightfully celebrates with his colleagues there. So that's Ireland 4-8 to Croatia's 1 goal. That leaves us at 32 plays 6. I'm watching my co-commentator down below me here, Kieran Hart. He's really enjoying the occasion that is these European Championships. Whips open a Mars bar there. He's on the relax since our technical difficulties earlier in the match. The Terriers in there looking for the ball. Sean Fallon in around every break that's been here in DCU since last Saturday. The umpire's in, he pops the ball up. The Croats are on it straight away, but it's countered by the Irish. Maurice Bartley's in sniffing around. Play moves out towards the flank here, and here we go with Tom Brown getting on the ball. Strong defending and resolute defending by the Croats. There's number 33, Josip Jonopovic. We've seen him before. Ball's out of bounds. The Irish have been working very, very hard at adopting a defensive approach in attack. If that's sort of similar style to what Mayo brought to Croke Park on Sunday, where they've been hungry for every piece of possession and have been very quick to move the ball at speed in towards their forward line and get on. There's a free one inside there by what looks to be Brian Roach. No, it's not. No, just follow the play here and see. It's the number 24, who was Ryan McCluskey of the Belfast Redbacks. As it cited earlier, the Belfast Redbacks are largely spined by this Belfast Redback setup. Kicks the ball in high and long, and that's another goal for Ireland. That brings us to 5-8 to 1 goal, and it looks like this result is going the way of being beyond doubt as we're here in the third quarter, with Ireland winning well, headed towards a grand final date with the Great British Bulldogs on Saturday at 4 p.m. here in the DCU Sports Grounds. So we're up for the throw-in. Croatians are still remaining competitive. Sean Fallon on the ball as far as Jared Lenihan. Jared fires it in long towards the Irish number 24, who is Ryan McCluskey. Ryan sends it in long in search of stretch, but ball breaks off the Croatian defender. Maurice Bartley's on it, and Brian O'Connell is moving towards the ball now. He's an imposing figure. breaks off him, but he regains possession, tries to handball it off. It's regained in there by the corner pocket, sent out towards the middle where Kevin McSorley was waiting. Gladly with open arms, it spills from his grasp. John O'Regan has the ball now. John sends it in long, in nice and high, served in towards Ryan McCluskey. Ryan, possession breaks away from him, gets a kick in, sent in towards the goal, and Brian O'Connell will hardly get an easier chance for a goal in these tournaments than that. Ball broke loose, evaded his opponent, and he kicks from point blank range. A fine score. The Irish are rolling in and rolling off the substitutions now, or the changes, as they feel this result is probably gone beyond doubt, and they're looking at blooding some players ahead of Saturday's final. Throw in goes the way of Croatia. Get a quick kick in there, it's won back by the Irish number 14, a player we haven't seen as of yet, Benny McDevitt. Benny, another Belfast redback. As I cited earlier, the coaching staff of this Irish squad are spined by Northerners. Paul Brogan works for Philip McElhone Construction. He has underage GA pedigree with Antrim. Paul, I think, is a Gortin Tyrone man originally. Pat Levy then of Mullingar. Brian Curran of the Leaside Lions, who's a stalwart of the league. The Irish then are coached by Kevin McAlone. And there's a play going in long. This is the first time the Croats have got inside this Irish 50 in this quarter. Umpire signals a throw in, ball out of bounds. And the Irish are looking to get on the ball again. You can hear their coaching staff from here. There's a score for the Croats. It's out for a behind. Are we giving it? The umpires seem confused. I think we're looking at a call here of a behind. Out for a behind. The umpire in the central position seemed to indicate to his goal umpire as to what that was. There seemed to be some confusion as to what had happened. So the Croats get in for only their second score of the match. Long high ball headed out towards the middle. The Irish number 6 who rises to take it out of the air is Conor O'Halloran. It breaks loose, but O'Halloran follows it up, and a great little piece of play there. Sean Fallon running off from Gerard Lenihan as well. Lenihan is in for a tough tackle here, and I think it's probably one he deserves. He's a man who dishes out plenty of them at the same time, although that doesn't seem to have disturbed him too much. He'd be fond of the unsavouries at times, would be Gerard Lenihan, guy who likes to mix it up. Ball developed up along that flank, sent in long towards the Irish number 15, who was Vince Manning. Vince, who was prominent in the game here on Saturday against the Swedes, seemed eager and full of running to get on that, but it flew from his grasp. Long and out over the out of bounds line. The Irish continue to press. Number 24, Ryan McCluskey. Who's the break there? The umpire indicates he's calling the play back towards the number 10 for Ireland, who's Dominic Joyce, to have a kick at goal here. Appears to be another opportunity for the Irish to get on the scoreboard. The Croatians have adopted an apathetic approach to defending now at this stage. They're not even defending their frees. Tom Brown is on the ball here. Tom has a chance of a score. He's looking at a runner outside of him. Number 14 is Benny McDevitt. Benny made the run. Sean Fallon also making a move. There's a ball sent in high, looking for a mark. Croats handball the ball away. The number 3 for Croatia is Dario Horak. Dario has been consistent throughout this game. He's been quite good. The high fielding that we associated with the Croatian team earlier in the week is not there at the moment. Markovic sends the ball out to the flank towards Josip Kravar. Josip's on the ball. He looks to mix it up with the Irish. The Irish are back in here. Number 16 for Ireland is Ger Walls. And there it is, moving forward with John O'Regan, the plumber. Sends it in high. Man from Castle Connor GAA Club. They were on the Twitter earlier today, wishing him luck. Number 20 for Ireland sends the ball in. And that looks like it's gone for a goal. Yes, I think that's what the umpire has indicated. The number 20 for Ireland is Paul Redmond, who's new to the game from the Dublin Demons. And number 24 for Ireland is replaced there, Ryan McCluskey, or better known as Ninga. Croatians have had a good tournament up to now. They've pressed very well against the Swedes and pushed the Swedes right to the limit on Tuesday evening here. A game many expected them to win after a good performance last Saturday, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. They were very good against the Germans. Started like a rocket, entered into I think what was a 38-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, albeit that we had a wind-aided first quarter there. It ended up a more tight contest than we imagined it would on that showing, but their high fielding and their good kicking and many other matters stood very well to them. Number 27 for Ireland is Shane Liddy. Shane begins another Irish attack, sends it in long inside the 50, where the ball is sent in by the Irish number 20. I think it was, yes, Paul Redmond. Paul sent it in. A mark was taken by our big man Brian O'Connell, who in turn sent it across to number 13, who's Brian Roach of the Leaside Lions. Brian has been very impressive for Ireland today, and he's going to have a chance, I think, to kick what looks like his third score in the game. And he kicks that, he sort of hoods it, and it goes out for a behind. Probably not one that he'll relish looking at again. It was a good opportunity for Ireland, but the hunger of this Irish team seems to be unquenchable. They seem to want to deliver a performance as well as getting a result. That's embodied by none other than their captain, and indeed some of that half-back flank line as well, where they've been very, very hungry for success. Looking to make amends now. Brian Roach is on the ball again, looking straight down the centre pocket. He's going to be kicking in. Brian O'Connell braces himself in there around the goals, expecting this to travel well. He adopts a slice approach this time. It was almost one in there, but it's out of bounds. And I have to say that the Irish coaching staff have positioned themselves well along the sideline without encroaching. I can see Paul Duggan up in the corner pocket area there, where he's adopted a forwards coaching approach for Ireland. Ireland eager to get scores on the board, eager to drive home the message that they are the WFN ranking #1 team, and they're eager to defend this European Championship on home soil. That signals the end of the third quarter, and as we enter the final fourth quarter, we will we'll update the score, but we're going to see this play develop before the players leave the field for some refreshment. John O'Regan sends the ball in long, and the umpire indicates that that will be all for that quarter. Welcome back to DCU for the final quarter here between the Croatian Knights and the Irish Warriors. Score standing at Ireland 7-8, which is 50, playing 1-1, which is 7 for Croatia. Ireland have been dominant so far, very impressive display. Quite an attacking-based display, although they've based a lot of their play around the defensive qualities that no doubt this team brings to the field. 26 on the ball for Ireland, sending it along there was Paul O'Halloran. Paul sends it in long. Murish Bartley's fighting for any scrap he can get his hands on. Umpires in quickly there to indicate that he's going to throw the ball up. And for the throw in to contest for Ireland will be the number 16, Ger Walls. Play is moved towards the pocket end line area. We see it going out of bounds, do we? Yes, we do indeed. The umpire was slow out of the blocks there. As I said, number 16 for Ireland, Ger Walls, Belfast Redbacks. The Belfast Redbacks have spined the team today. Their nature as guys with a pedigree in Ulster football, Ulster Gaelic football particularly, is defensive to begin with. And defend first and attack later, but they've brought and adapted their play quite considerably today. They've aided the Irish moving forward by hustling for any ball or any possession that has been available to them. The Croats haven't given up. We have to acknowledge that. They've continued to try and play their game, maybe not to their out-and-out strengths thus far in the contest. We saw them handball the ball very well, move it by hand, and as well as that, move it along and use the aerial route very regularly in their successive performances today, particularly their successful performance against Germany last Saturday. Jared Lenihan takes a heavy hit there in the middle of the field. I think he didn't particularly like that. And that's it looks like there's a card brandished there. Lenihan pushes an umpire. That can't be good. It has to be steps taken there. I know that there are questions amongst many of the spectators here as to his mentality. It was a very strange decision to take there. Good heave on the umpire. And maybe I'd take this opportunity to bring in my co-commentator Kieran Hart there for a little bit of his wisdom.
Well, in what was an otherwise uninspiring last quarter, we've just seen a bit of a clash take place there. Croatia have the ball. You'd think it's far too late for them now to turn this match around. They've been competitive without being able to really put goals on the board, to be honest. And Ireland have been much better when the game's gone the other way. Ireland want to watch themselves here, though. They've got a big grand final coming up on Saturday. There's no point in having players sent off or lost. This isn't what the crowd want to see, though, either. He wants the game to move on here. Hurry it up. Croatia's big men haven't been as dominant as I was hoping they were going to be in this match. Big physical guys like Ivan Ivos. We had Sasa Robard in the ruck. And even Secek in the back line. They haven't stamped their authority as much as they have. I've been impressed, though, by Brian Roach up at centre-half forward for Ireland. He has been strong. Presents himself well, has contested well. If he hasn't been able to mark the ball, he's brought it to ground. And you've seen the beneficiaries of that in terms of Ryan McCloskey. Has been always sniffing around his feet. John O'Regan, though, has been fantastic for Ireland again. He's just been on the end of every ball. He's a great play here. I'm streaming a goal. That would be a fantastic goal. It's not going to make the distance. Well defended there by Croatia. The man got the body in front. Made sure Brian O'Connell couldn't reach over top of him and pluck that out of his hands. And it's gone out of bounds and in for a boundary throw-in.
I'd agree completely there, Kieran. Brian Roach has been fantastic for Ireland today. I'd say he's a man of the match candidate here. The Croats still defending with avid interest and trying to at least conserve some pride. There's a long kick sent in by the Irish number 6, Conor O'Halloran. Goes out of bounds over on the left-hand side. And yeah, that was fiery there from Ireland. I think they've eventually cooled Jared Lenihan down. He's about to maybe take a seat. Hopefully he doesn't damage the chair. And as the Croats begin to play again, sent out towards the centre area. What looked like a mark taken there. Umpire's in. I think he agrees. One of the more impressive Croat performers for the day was Josip Kravar. Josip developed as the game moved forward. But again, they haven't had great opportunity to show off the attacking skills, the fine aerial performances that we'd seen in the tournament earlier. But hopefully they'll redeem themselves slightly and make a return here on Saturday in what will be one of the playoff games. John O'Regan is in on this. Ball breaks loose. The Croats are still fighting for any possession that they can get. They'll take any scrap. Here we go. The Irish captain sends the ball right down into the centre. That's a nice mark taken there by Goose. Goose, James Flavin, we haven't seen an awful lot of him so far. Murish Bartley. Murish is on the ball. Murish garners possession. He sends it in high and long. Brian O'Connell doesn't go searching for it. Instead, it's won there by Croatian defenders. We see more physicals occurring in the corner. And that seems to have been given as a goal by the umpire, although it seemed play had stopped. I'm not sure. There seems to be some bad blood developing between these two teams. We haven't seen this from Ireland as of yet in this competition. It's something that they've prided themselves on, their competitive greatness. Built on a fine tradition, a lot of good Gaelic football skills exhibited by most players, along with a steely resilience, a never say die attitude, and they've wanted to perform and remain conscious of the fact that they are the stalwarts of the European game. That was actually given as a goal, and we'll update you with the score momentarily. The umpire gets ready to throw it in as he settled matters. I think we've lost a Croatian player there to injury. I can see Coach O'Hara and his support staff are attempting to give him some comfort. Tom Brown is on the ball here. Tom has been a very impressive performer for Ireland today. He's played very, very well. Up through the centre at times, has developed the play. There's a long ball sent in and a fine goal kicked by the Irish number 24. And if I'm not incorrect, that is indeed Ryan McCluskey or Ninga, who's back into the game again after a short sabbatical there. He has he's been a good performer, very consistent for Ireland today. We've seen quite a bit of quality right across the field. As I said, the goal kicking skills, particularly the catching and kicking that we associate with Gaelic football in this country, is definitely bringing out a fair degree of high performance from this Irish squad. Coaches have gone to the bench. They've emptied the bench really at this stage. We've seen a good period of transition here where Ireland have blooded some new blood and probably are getting back to near what their structure will be like for Saturday's grand final. I'm working on getting you a score update here. It's difficult to distinguish in the light. We probably need floodlights for a game at this period of the evening, although this is the last of our late games this week in what has been a very successful tournament thus far. Not without its challenges, and I would imagine that Coach O'Hara of the Croat team, the tournament director here in Dublin, he's lost a few more hairs during this week, and I'd imagine he'll be hoping that everything goes well between here and Saturday evening, and that the teams leave Dublin with a healthy respect for each other and fond memories of what has been a very memorable tournament held here on the excellent surfaces and the excellent facilities here at DCU. And the umpire indicating in there that it's going to be a throw in. I think he's going to throw it up. Or is he? No, he's actually indicating it's a free to Ireland, which Maurice Bartley seems to be volunteering himself to take. Is another good chance for a score here. Maurice composes himself, kicks it in. Oh, what a fine catch taken there by Brian O'Connell. Brian stays as a stalwart of the pocket. And again, I might be giving him a Judas kiss here, but his opportunity in the first half was probably a little simpler than this one, but he kicks a fine goal all the same. And that puts Ireland really out of sight now at this stage, and what has probably been their most polished performance of the week thus far. Croatians seem somewhat disconsolate, somewhat uncomfortable in this game now. The conditions certainly played some role in that. They probably were a little perturbed by the early rain in the game, and Brian O'Connell is off there making way for, I think Ryan McCluskey has taken the centre pocket area, and I'm just looking at the replacement coming into the game here. He's soon to be on the ball here. It's the Irish number 11. Irish number 11, John Enright. This is the first time we've seen John this week. John from the Dublin Demons. Maurice Bartley, really out and out a sterling performer for Ireland. Sends the ball in long towards Mark Levy. Mark knocks it in high towards that number 11, who the ball breaks off of John Enright and out for a behind, which adds to Ireland's wad of scores. I see Maurice Bartley down here at the moment, possibly in need of attention, although he picks himself up rather admirably. The Croats really have had a tough outing here. It's been a tough sojourn. The number 6 for Ireland working hard. There's Conor O'Halloran. Conor sends the ball back towards Mark Levy. The Croats are fighting for crusts now. Ger Walls composes the Irish, sends it over towards Paul Redmond. Paul fights for the ball. He takes it into his possession, sends it in long, and that looks like it's going to go all the way. No, that was very unfortunate. Strikes the post and out for a behind. That would have been a fine score from what was all of 50 yards, really. With 2 minutes remaining, ball sent out long here towards the half-back flank. It's won by the Croatians, but they really have they've been pressed right back. They've adopted a defensive mentality in trying to keep the score down, and the Irish have just pushed right up. We have 3 players back minding the Irish house. The rest of the players are all approaching the Croatian 50 and have tried to bring the game to Croatia, and it has paid dividends, really. Number 23, David Lazanin of the Zaporizhia Giants. The game in Croatia is a developing game. They only have 3 clubs, whereas Ireland have 9. They have built on some links. Oh, there's a fine score by the Irish number 6, who is Conor O'Halloran. And Conor has been one of those players who's made a real considerable difference to the Irish performance here today. They've been very resolute in the middle of the field. They have shown great character and a real hunger, an intensity that we haven't seen in this competition to date. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the contest between Britain and Ireland on Saturday here, hopefully in what will be sunny conditions given the forecast. And no doubt some of these Irish players will be eager to perform on the big occasion to add a second European Championship to what has been their first hosting of the tournament here in Dublin. Great opportunity on home soil to generate a result, and where old animosities and old pains and old hurts will be outed. And I've no doubt that our northern constituents in this Irish squad will be eager to get one over on their co-citizens. Croatians have a chance here to kick a score late in the game. This is probably what will seem like their last opportunity. Coach O'Hara is watching on menacingly. I think it's gone out and wide into the out-of-bounds region. It was watched very carefully there by both umpires. It's probably the last attack for Ireland now. John O'Regan, who's been an absolute giant for Ireland today, sends the ball long down towards the Irish number 19 actually, David Miller. David Miller sends it in long to the number 30, Bobby Byrne, who's back in the game. Bobby's closed down there very quickly, and there's Sean Fallon in for a contest. Sean doesn't give up. There's a heavy challenge and a good tackle by Bobby Byrne to redeem his earlier lost possession, and Bobby's going to have a shot at goal that might bring the curtain down for Croatia in their pool games. This has been a real mismatch in terms of the way that's a poor kick. It hangs in the air. The Irish are up. A push in the back, it looks like, from Croatia, or for Croatia indeed. And kick given, mark taken by number 7, who is Dino Sulic. Dino sends it in long towards his number 5, who was Fran Boban. Fran, who was very, very useful on Saturday against the Swedes, doesn't seem to have had the same influence on the game today. As I said earlier, the Irish will go into the grand final on Saturday, full of confidence, brimful of confidence after this performance, which has been very competitive. They've never let the game go at any stage. They've looked to try and build on their performance. The performances this week have been quite good. Here's an opportunity to kick a goal. Dominic Joyce, who was prominent in the first quarter when we encountered some technical difficulties. He's well rested at this stage. He's just arrived on the field as a substitute, and just as the hooter goes, the ball crosses the end line and through for a goal. And what has been a very sporting contest, Ireland run out handsome victors